Welcome back, and now we're going to go off to Jamie as he talks about a little of Control.
Control is the latest game by Remedy Entertainment, who we haven't heard from in a little while. The last game they made, Quantum Break, was this really weird, ambitious game that kind of also had the unenviable task of launching a television studio, and it also meant nothing about it really worked that well. So it's kind of really rewarding to see Control come out, the next game come out, and it's weird, but it's the good kind of weird, because you see, you play as a character called Jesse Faden, who has been kind of investigating this weird kind of agency called the Federal Bureau of Control, who may or may not have some connection to her past. She stumbles upon their headquarters known as the Alt's house, and all hell breaks loose. And now I don't want to say too much because a lot of the game is about the mystery, and saying too much I think kind of ruins the surprise. Because a lot of Control is, again, it's weird. A lot of but it's weird in a good way that the design of the game is just beautiful. It's visually striking. It's just weird, unexplained stuff everywhere. It fits the vibe perfectly. And coupling that is the gameplay. The combat feels really nice to play. It has a good flow to everything. You get some really interesting powers, like telekinetically flinging stuff at people. It's never felt so good, and it always feels good. And this is a really rare exception to me saying that. But making it even better is the fact that it's their first non-linear game. So yeah, you could say it is a Metroid-like, where you've got to kind of pick up items and get new abilities to kind of backtrack and do all that kind of stuff. And the game also does a really good job of not being very explicit, telling you where to go. So a lot of the game is just kind of letting you explore. And it really works just to let you see everything about this crazy game. And I can't say enough nice things about it. It's a shame about the loading times, but I can live with that because I know the game I'm playing is rad.
I think I've decided I'm going to bring Jamie in to discuss that a little bit further because I too have been playing Control. Jamie, it is a very good video game. Let's be clear about that right now.
Yes, I think it is one of the top 3 games of this year so far, and we're nearly done with the year too. It's great.
Yeah, and because we have really, so we obviously had there's a little bit of a bumper crop at the start of the year. There were some very good games that have come through. Lots I liked, lots I did. Control has all of the elements I think make it a real potential for Game of the Year. Number 1, Remedy. So Remedy, when they hit, and I don't think they've really hit since Alan Wake. I'd like to say that.
I would agree with that. Like I'm one of the few people that didn't mind Quantum Break, but it was a game where I think it just didn't. I could see where they were going for, but it just didn't click with me the same way.
It was confused. It didn't sell its
multiverse
thing really
It was a game that was also trying to launch a TV studio, which is like such a weird burden.
Yes.
But more to the point, we're talking about the good stuff now, please.
Yes. So I think the one thing that Control has going for it is that its premise, while convoluted, is reasonably simple. You start at the Federal Bureau of Control. You show up. And basically, you understand that it's a clandestine organization that controls mimetic agents, if you will. And I think there's no... And I'm using SCP terms because, for all intents and purposes, it's an SCP game. So for those who don't know, Secure, Contain, Protect is a kind of a fan site where people write random SCP entries, and it's all things that this organization have found over the course of, America and all these different places around the world and in these different dimensions. It is 100% that game, and it sounds like it's convoluted and crazy, and yet it nails it.
I think, honestly, I'm not the kind of guy who really dives into a lot of lore stuff, but it just feels like a lot of the lore they build around, it's really fun just to kind of watch, full motion, videos of people just leaving around, or just kind of weird kind of essays of people just leaving around.
Yes.
They always have done a really good job of that.
Yes.
And this just really works. I don't know, maybe it's just stuff I like weird supernatural bullshit like that as well.
Yeah.
It really clicks with me, and not to mention the gameplay is kind of really good.
But it also helps that they've got Max Payne, Alan Wake, and
one of the co-leads, Quantum Break, which I'm trying to remember, but every time I think about it, it's like I don't want to think about Quantum Break, but she's there and she's great.
And they're your main 3. Well, they're 3 of your main sources of information on the world, information on the story, and of course their delivery is purely their delivery.
It is really good to hear the voice of Max Payne reading Sam Lake dialogue again. It's really good.
Yeah, and so it does this great job of taking this world, and add on top of that, the building has that very Americana, late 60s, early 70s, Americana straight lines. It looks like something straight out of there, and then you add these supernatural elements on.
It has a really striking look, and it's not something that... I mean, they've always made good-looking games, but this is the first time in a while it's like, hang on, this actually has a really strong sense of art direction.
Yes.
And I love that.
And to me, they've always, without being too obvious about it with Alan Wake, they've always done a really good job of that Lynchian, trying to gain that Twin Peaks kind of Americana dynamic. This looks like some place you'd find in, the Pacific Northwest. You know what I mean? It nails the aesthetics, especially when you go to like the Ocean View Hotel and Casino,
Right.
which will come up a lot in the game if you actually play it. But as far as everything goes, it nails all of its elements. It's got the wanky over the top story that somehow manages to still be cohesive.
Right.
It's got reasonably good gunplay and very solve the problem gunplay. You have these powers and these guns solve the problem. Fight the battle.
And my problem is, my solution is always just fling shit at people.
Fling shit at people.
And it's just like...
Yeah, exactly. And so it does a great job of that. So it picks up on the problems that Alan Wake had, which was combat for my money. It has these strong performances. It has a catching aesthetic. Like the way that the things pop up on the screen and the way that the game itself glitches. Is it a glitch? Is it part of like the meme? Is it like what is happening? Like and it does such a good job. It reminded me a lot of Eternal Darkness in that sense. In that you would have these random things happen that would make you go, well, hang on, what actually is happening? You know what I mean? Like what's going on?
Are you actually in control or not?
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Sorry.
That's fine. You're allowed to say bad puns, but I guess.
Well, Don's not here.
Well, someone has to fill that gap in his stead. So yes, you are right. I guess that is the end of the episode. Is there any last thing you would like to say about Control before we go?
It's a very good game, and you should play it, and like just give it a shot. Like to me, it is one of the best games of the year thus far. And I know we've said that a lot about a lot of stuff, but no, really, it's good.
It's a pretty good game.